leading your introduction to clients' confidence and profits presentation today. And without much further ado, let's jump right into it. A couple of things you want to know about what I do. I have 120,000 plus business owners and professionals in my combined Meetup organization, making it probably the world's largest business non-tech Meetup organization. We are located in the United States and the United Kingdom, in all the major cities, or most of the major cities in these two countries, and we are growing. In 2016, we had an audience of about 30,000 plus. We've grown quite well to 120,000 plus recently. We've had a mastermind size of about 10 people, and that has grown to about 72 people today who are engaged clients working with me in these methodologies to grow an audience and get them engaged for your business. We've built a pretty good reputation as a good ecosystem within our mastermind for collaborations and joint ventures to occur within business as well. In 2018, we had about 127 collaborations. We're aiming for 1,000 plus collaborations in 2019. We believe that with the number of members we have and the number of opportunities that are coming online, that should be easily achieved in the next 1 year. A couple of things about me, the founder of what's called the Global Business Mastermind. I've been a mentor, owner, speaker, author since 1991, and I was a successful entrant to what's called the Shark Tank for Experts, where I presented about 1/10 of what I'm going to present to you here in this presentation. What you're going to get today from this presentation, firstly, the steps to create clients, more confidence, and profits in your marketing. Secondly, a system to attract clients and collaborations to you and your business. Thirdly, how to build freedom and build wealth so you can continue to expand your business using these marketing technologies. And an easy, no-cost first step to take action. Who is this training for? Is anybody with expertise. And so if you have curated expertise, that is, you have expertise from other people, but you know about it and you can put it into an intelligent format, you can use this expertise to market yourself. If you have your own expertise, you can use this methodology as well. If you have a service or product, and if you're looking to market locally, regionally, or globally. These are some of the examples of people we work with. Anybody with business services, consultants, coaches, speakers, authors, real estate, financial, wealth building people, people who are involved in health and wellness, spirituality, startup and tech people, people who are involved in providing investment opportunities to investors, potential investors, and business networking community builders, people who are out to building networking communities specifically for business or to interact as businesses. Chances are we've worked with your industry or market, so please ask us about your industry or market and how it pertains to this methodology. What our clients get? They get customers and profits, get confidence and security in a profitable client producing engine, and they get freedom from the wealth cushion provided for when you to provide for your expansion of your business so you can continue to grow. So how do you get all of this? The first thing to do is to have an overall system, which we refer to as a sales funnel. The second thing is you need a people source, a source of people to come into the funnel who are potential clients and prospects for you. And thirdly, you need some kind of movement or compelling reasons for people to move through the funnel so that they move through your funnel and they become trusted clients of yours. A quick definition for a sales funnel: it is a system that takes people from not knowing you through building more trust to eventually doing business with you. So this sales funnel could be pictorially described as follows, as shown on the screen here. And you can see that the three components I just described, the sales funnel, the people coming into the funnel, and the compulsion to move through the funnel are described in this diagram. So firstly, you have the overall sales funnel, and it comprises typically of 5 levels, and this applies to most industries and most markets. First is you have a level one where people come in ice cold, they have no idea who you are. Secondly, second stage is where you build a little bit of relationship and trust with them, and they become lukewarm. And then as you build more trust, they become warmer. They get more educated. They get more. They build more trust with you. It's what based on what you're sharing with them. It seems to be more relevant to what they need. Level four is when it gets really hot. They're very intrigued. The pricing, your pricing, seems to match their budget, and they're ready to move to level five, which is what we call fire, which is they're ready to buy. They're very much ready to buy. So you need these 4 or 5 levels, which comprise your sales funnel. You need the compelling reasons why these people must move through these levels and come up to level five. And then, of course, you need a people source, which is indicated by number 2 here, the bottom of the diagram. So how to get people into the funnel? There are many ways that you can create a people source. One is you do paid outreach. Secondly, by organic SEO. Thirdly, by networking. Fourthly, by LinkedIn outreach only. And fifth is our system, which combines Meetup, LinkedIn, and collaborations. I will go over this very momentarily. But first, I want to cover a couple other things. So the first thing is what compels people to move through a funnel? And what compels people to move through the funnel is the answer is you need a good marketing strategy. A good marketing strategy comprises of 3 components. One is you have good target markets. You have targeted people specifically that you want to target for your business. So they could be very specific target markets based on geography. So they're located in a specific part of the country, and or they have certain specific pain points or psychological profiles that make them very amenable for your business. Secondly, you need very good, compelling, and concise offers. Compelling meaning that it addresses their immediate problems that they want to resolve, or their goals, or their ambitions, or their dreams. So it has to be very compellingly stated, and it has to be very compelling logically as well as emotionally for these prospective clients. The third part is very important. These compelling offers must match your good target markets. If you have good target markets, but they're not compelling offers, it doesn't make any sense. If you have good compelling offers, but they are for the wrong target market that you're not targeting right now, then that doesn't make any sense as well. So you need good compelling offers that match good target markets. So what you need in summary, like I said earlier, you need the overall system, sales funnel, the people source, and compelling reasons to move through the funnel. And I just broke it down based on the third number. We broke that down into good target markets, good compelling offers, and good compelling offers matching good target markets. So you have 5 stages that you need so far in this presentation. So what is your greatest risk in all of this? The greatest risk is not acting, or what some financial management people call opportunity cost, the cost of not taking up an opportunity that could bring you in more money, more profits, and more clients. What does it cost you to not have a working marketing strategy? What does it cost you to not have a sales funnel system? What does it cost you to not have clear target markets? What does it cost you to not have clear, compelling offers? What does it cost you to not have a marketing strategy refined enough for your standards? What does it cost you to not have a people source for your funnel? What does it cost you when you do not have compelling reasons for people to move through your funnel? What does it cost you if you have no plan or system to scale up your business and your marketing? And what does it cost you to not have good collaborators to add punch to your marketing? And do you have enough clients? And are you ignoring it? If you're not getting enough clients, are you ignoring that question? What does it cost you to ignore that question? Are you having confidence in your marketing and sales? And what does it cost you to ignore this question again? So what is the best sales funnel you can create? When you look at this diagram here, you see again on the left-hand side, you See all the levels of a typical sales funnel, the 5 levels I described earlier. And then you see a comparison between other systems and my system here, or our system. The cost for most of the systems to level 3 costs anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 per month. And I'll show this to you in a further breakdown coming up here very soon. When you look at our system, you're looking at a one-time cost of $3,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 or $16,000 thereabouts, depending on which level you want to work at. That's a one-time cost. When you do $10,000 per month, which is what most of the systems really cost if you look at it pretty seriously, then you're looking at about $120,000 of marketing, which is really where most marketing tends to lie. So if you have a budget of $10,000 per month, then I would say, and if you're producing results with that and you're satisfied with the results with that, then I would say you probably want to stay with that. And there are systems like that, as you will see here momentarily, that actually provide that. So if you can afford the $10,000 per month, I would strongly urge you to do that. But if you cannot afford the $10,000 per month and you want something more cost effective, a one-time cost $3,000 or $10,000 or $15,000, then you should definitely come and talk to me. So what are the best people sources? Like I shared earlier, it's paid outreach, organic SEO, or search engine optimization, networking, LinkedIn outreach only in our system, which is a combination of Meetup, LinkedIn, and collaborations. So what are the best people sources? One is paid outreach, and I'm going to go through the pros and cons for paid outreach. And paid outreach is when you do advertising, typically on Google ads or Facebook ads. Nowadays, that's how it's mostly done for most businesses. Now, this is very effective if you have a budget of $10,000 per month or more. And this is not from any idle thinking here. This is from years of investigating, talking to people who are some of the best Facebook and Google marketers I've known out there. And typically, it's effective only if you have a budget of $10,000 per month or more. And there are exceptions to this. I've almost never seen anybody come up with a comprehensive marketing strategy on outreach with Google or Facebook ads that costs $1,400 or $1,500 less a month, and they're making high profits with that. It almost never happens, except the exceptions are very, very rare cases where the product or service is so compelling that it's easy enough to do that. But for the most part, really it's going to cost you about that much. You can do effective marketing, and it's very effective if you have a budget of that much more. You can really do pretty well. It's typically easier to close people because of the exceptionally good targeting that people do using this methodology of Facebook or Google. If you spend that much money, you should be able to effectively close people very, very quickly. You save a lot of time because appointments are placed right in front of you. So it's a very good system if you have $10,000 per month or more. The cons are it's very expensive. It's $10,000 per month or way more. Very expensive and unpredictable initial split testing is what they do in the first few months to try to establish what are your best target markets and your best messages. And this can be effectively done again with a high cost, but it's very expensive, and the timeline to determine what your best target markets and messages are can be unpredictable. The other con is once you stop paying for the advertising, your pipeline vanishes. You're gone. Once you stop paying, it's disappeared. It doesn't come back again just because you stop paying. Some markets are impenetrable because it's just way too much competition, and the people who are in that market are spending way more than you are. It's not straightforward to attract collaborations like this using this kind of paid outreach. And you have to find the right people to make this work. And they're typically very hard to find, and they're typically very expensive, and rightfully so, because they're very highly skilled people who have been doing it for quite a long time. Organic SEO is a second methodology where you create content or other search engine optimization techniques that enable people or attract people to come to your website or your other online collateral. This can be very effective over time. It takes a while before Google verifies that they're going to reward you by promoting your website. You want to make sure that you're consistently putting out good content and regularly enough before they reward you. But if they reward you, it can be very, 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 very good. Okay. Can be less expensive than paid outreach that I talked about in the previous slide, but there are some cons. It's time and work intensive, needs a lot of content. You can't just do one or two articles and hope to get a lot of traffic. It just never happens like that. And you just can't post one or two articles a month. You have to do a lot of content, a lot more frequently in order to uh, attract people coming to your site. You have to still figure out how to stand out from others. You can't run away from that question. How are you better than your competition? Some markets are impenetrable again because they are just way ahead of you. If they have 1,000 pieces of content or tens of thousands of articles, they are very, very difficult to beat. Can be very expensive, especially if you hire content producers. And what we've learned in this experience is you gotta get good writers. If you don't get good writers, it's very hard to get good articles that attract good people coming to you. It can seem impersonal or inorganic when you do this because it's just about attracting people coming to you. Um, it's not straightforward again to attract collaborations when you do SEO. And again, you have to find the right people to do this because if you find the wrong people who don't know what they're doing, especially in your particular industry, the whole thing can fall apart. Okay, the next best, another good people source is networking. You take this can be a personable approach. The pros are it's a personable approach, and so you can do pretty well if you do this. It's not expensive to do networking. It can be successful, but it requires skill building and various art and sciences of conducting a conversation, figuring out how you can collaborate with people, how to make it easy for them to come and talk to you. It's a lot of skills you have to build. Cons are it's time intensive and you cannot scale up because it's only you or maybe a few other people you know who are on your team who are networking with you. It's a numbers game, so you got to get out there and do a lot of networking events, etc. It's typically a low return on time because at each networking event you may only be able to meet 5, maybe 10 people at the very most. And if you stop networking, the pipeline stops. Research and strategy is required if you want to do it well. That takes up time and energy. You must master the art and science of listening and making deals happen. The other con is many people want something from you and are less excited about giving something to you. In other words, paying you money. Um, you tend to reach out to people that is chase them. And psychologically, what happens is when you chase other people, they tend to run away. So it's not very straightforward again to attract collaborations if you're doing this networking like this, and of course you're limited geographically and in terms of scalability. Okay, another way to get people sources or people into your sales funnel is to do LinkedIn outreach only. Now, pros are you can do focused outreach to target markets. LinkedIn makes it very easy or relatively straightforward to do that, where you can target certain target markets, example, C-level people, marketers, coaches, spiritually inclined people, etc. You can do some targeting on LinkedIn, and it's pretty good for that. It's a higher class of business professionals who are on LinkedIn. You can get collaborations. In fact, that's a very good area, a good place, a good platform to create and attract collaborations. Um, Actually, more like doing an outreach and asking people if they like to collaborate with you. You can get speaking organizations this way as well, so you can go speak to larger audiences. The cons are most people do not want to connect with you again. They rather get something from you than actually do connections with you. And if it's not done right, most people will try to sell you versus buy from you. You have to design your profile well, and a lot of people don't do this because it takes a bit of time to figure that out and make sure your profile looks good and represents you well. You must design your outreach well, if not it falls apart. You must think of creative and effective strategies when you actually connect with people. It's tough to build a webinar audience using this system because it's mostly online and people are pretty busy on LinkedIn. And it's tough to build a large engaged audience unless you do some creative tactics and strategies. So then there's our system, which is a combination of Meetup, LinkedIn, and collaborations. The pros are you target self-identified people. What does this mean? This means that people who come on Meetup identify themselves as people who are interested in various target markets. Example, they're interested in learning how to be a coach, or learning to more about spirituality, or being more balanced in their life. They're interested in being more productive. They're interested in working and meeting with other women entrepreneurs. The list goes on. So it's a really great way to target self-identified people, people who identify themselves as interested in certain topics that you may be able to teach and present on. It's far less expensive. Meetup groups typically cost $5 per month to run, and it's very far less expensive than anything else I can think of. Gives you better returns over time. Continues to grow even when you slow down or you stop. Um, it has the advantages of in-person marketing and digital marketing combined. You can reach high-level connectors and massive audiences. You can, a lot of people don't realize this, but I get about 30% of my business from people finding me, searching and finding for my services on Google, but they don't find my website. They find my meetup groups, and this further verifies who I am and increases chances for them to reach out to me to request to connect. You can do webinar promotions, so you're not limited geographically. You can do webinars to almost anywhere in the world using our system. People and collaborations come to you, so you don't have to chase after them, which is a big advantage. You attract, again, and the key word is attract rather than chase after speaking organizations. And you can also get free locations for your meetup events in person. Otherwise, when you do this, because as people see you growing correctly and largely and expansively, they want to get engaged with you, and they're willing to give you free locations or venues to hold your events, which is of tremendous benefit to you. Some of the cons. It takes patience. You build an engine that continues to deliver. That's the main intention. This is not for people who are looking for overnight results. I can guarantee you that. This is for people who have patience and want to build a long-term engine that continues to deliver clients to you. You have to think statistically, not in terms of immediate results. What this means is you want to think of opening up more groups, more channels on LinkedIn, more LinkedIn groups, more meetup groups, getting more collaborations, so that you can have a greater chance of success when you have several channels going out there to get new clients. If you have a huge budget of 10K per month, this is probably not the best way to do it, because you can do the Google ads and Facebook ads and even LinkedIn ads probably get a better result. But if you have a budget less than that, then this is probably what you want to talk about. This system is probably what makes sense. Now, if you already have a huge budget and you're getting results, but you want more channels and more of an organic in-person audience, then you still want to come and talk to me, and I'll be happy to show you how this could work for you. Again, I'm not attached to, you will need to decide as you look through all of these pros and cons, which makes sense to you, and I leave that to you to decide. But as you can see, our system here has quite a lot of pros versus cons. So I'll leave that to your choice to decide. So how does our system help you? The system will automatically feed you people up to level 3. If you remember level 3 is, let me get to that PowerPoint there. Level 3 is right here where it's warm. People are warmed up. They're not quite hot yet. So you take this, our system will take people from ice cold to lukewarm to warm, so that they're at least more compelled and more interested in at least going to level 4, which is quite good. That's quite a savings in time and energy right there. Then in our system, we also guide you to get people into level 4 and 5, and this is done more on a coaching basis. It's not the basic premise of our program, but it certainly is something we provide because we want to do our best to help you be successful, so that we can guide you to actually have people convert from level 3 into 4 and 5. The system provides the people source for you, and it provides the good marketing strategy which is good target markets, good compelling offers, and compelling offers matching the good target market. So it's a fairly comprehensive system. And there's one other part to the system which I'm going to share here pretty soon too, but just stay tuned. So coming up next, how does our system work and how does it generate a wealth cushion over time? So please stay tuned. What I'm going to offer today only is I'm going to offer a free complimentary session with me, and it's a short, brief chat. And I call this the Client's Confidence and Profits session. What you'll get in this session is I'll answer the top 2 questions pertaining to marketing in our system that pertains to you and your business. Secondly, I'll give you an overall plan to achieve your marketing goals using our system. And thirdly, and this is an option only, if you're interested and you see value in our system, in our program, I'll give you more details on how much it costs exactly and what option I would recommend for you. You want to see me before I leave the room to get your complimentary session, or if we're in a webinar, we're listening to this on our video, then see me before I leave the room to get your complimentary session. A couple of testimonials here. Cami Baker in Boston. This was quite a surprise for us even, because Boston is a very, very competitive area. But she managed to get a wait list and 75% over capacity in her Meetup events in 48 hours. That's quite extraordinary for Boston, which is very, very competitive, like I said, for events and filling up events. Juliet Clark is in Salt Lake City. It took about 2 weeks to get a waiting list, but she managed to get that for her. Paul Wood had a video corporate branding product, and in the first week we had a waiting list for the event. The waiting lists don't happen all the time, but over time, can you build up to waiting lists and to build up to at least 20 to 30 people showing up for events? Yeah, it's entirely possible, and it's up to you how you want to do that. If your branding is good and up to par, then yeah, that can be really achieved. It's always good to find out if your branding is up to par and how you can refine it, because your audience will tell you the truth. But we can help you get to level 3 with a warm crowd, and then help you to convert and fine-tune your conversions so that you can convert more people over time. A couple more testimonials here. Some of you who are in the coaching world know Charlotte Jacobs and her husband Jesse Corrin, very good friends of mine. I was her first coach many years ago, but when I first looked at her marketing strategy, I saw that with a couple of tweaks we could actually promise her to triple her income, and I think I promised to triple it within 4 months. I think we did it in far less time. So going back to some of our content here, how does our system work? So our system combines Meetup, the platform Meetup, with LinkedIn and a collaboration ecosystem. What that means is we have a very friendly environment of people who love to collaborate, to do joint ventures, so that you can create win-win marketing promotions with other people so that you get more people in your pipeline and also more clients. And so do they. So we have a system that combines Meetup with LinkedIn with collaborations. So what is Meetup? Now, I'm not affiliated with Meetup or LinkedIn. I just use Meetup and LinkedIn as platforms to help build my marketing. And I teach other people to do the same. So what is Meetup? Meetup is a platform, or meetup.com. It was founded in New York in 2001, right after 9/11. The founders wanted people to meet in New York City who were lost because of the explosions in the two Twin Towers. And so they wanted people to meet, and they created meetup.com that gave the ability for people to meet, to commiserate, and to provide comfort and support for each other. Meetup just recently got purchased by WeWork, which is a huge billion-dollar office rental company or office building company, and it has about 47 million people. That is, Meetup has about 47 million people around the world. I think it's probably way more than that number now. It's in 184 countries out of a possible 192. There are 2 ways to use Meetup. One is as a free account, and you can use Meetup to find events or groups that have particular interests that you're interested in to go attend. The other way is to have a membership, a paid membership, where you get to host events and have groups where you can attract people to join your groups, which have particular groupings of interest. And then within each group, you can have an unlimited number of events that are either in-person or webinar based. Now, you have to have at least one in-person event in order to have a webinar, but you can have both kinds of events. So why Meetup? Why use Meetup for business? Well, the good reason is you can actually target your markets, people that you think will be interested in your business and your service, your product. These are again self-identified people, people who have self-proclaimed themselves to be interested in these topics. Meetup does a lot of automatic management, so it takes a lot of time off your plate and frees up your time, so you don't have to do a lot of the promotions, confirmations of people, etc. It's all automatically done. A big part of it is automatically done. You can host webinars, like I said, on Meetup, and of course, Google works very well with Meetup. Every time someone RSVPs or joins your group, it indexes you and your business as the organizer of that Meetup, which builds up your Google profile and makes you very, very findable on Google. So how do I use Meetup and how do my clients use Meetup? You can make money on Meetup, and there's a standard way of doing it. There are many, many ways of doing it, but the standard way is something we teach people where you do an educational event. You invite people to come to the educational event. You give them good content, good education on your service, your product, and then you make them an offer at the end. It could be an offer could be for a free consultation, or it could be for a smaller lower priced item that is easy enough and low risk enough for people to join you and join your sales funnel so they get to know you a little bit more. So it's very straightforward to do that. You just have an event, then you do an educational, and then you upsell into what you want to have people take on as the next step. How do you work this? How do you design the use of this? We usually start by looking at your offer. So you have to have a pretty good offer. By offer, I mean your primary paid offering in your business. You may have a couple, but we want to look at your primary paid offering because you want to make sure that you make as much money as possible. And if that primary offer is not good enough, we'll work with you as best as we can to make it at least good enough, and if not stellar. And from that primary offer, then we determine what you want to offer at the end of your meetup event. At the end of a meetup event, you may want to offer a free consultation. And then at the end of that free consultation that you schedule with people, you offer your paid offering. But we want to design that free consultation. And then from the design of that free consultation, we again work backwards to design your meetup event or events. And then from designing the meetup events, we work backwards to designing your meetup groups. Now, a similar process occurs on LinkedIn. We again work with your primary offers, and then we work backwards to see what people will want to be sold to or do first when you reach out to them on LinkedIn. And so, and then we work backwards to design the rest of the LinkedIn sales funnel. Okay. What Meetup does here in particular is when you first set up your Meetup group and your event, Meetup does this wonderful thing. You can define up to 15 target markets. And what Meetup will do is it will announce your group and your event that you just set up to everyone who's expressed an interest in those topics or target markets, and there are 15 of them that you can define within a 50-mile radius. Now that's very great. It's awesome. And you start building if you set up your launch correctly. If you don't set up your launch correctly, it will not happen. Once you get your groups going, then you can start doing a webinar for every in-person event that you host. And that increases your ability to promote without having to spend money for a location or a venue or conference room, etc. You can do it from the comfort of your house via the internet. You can also do email promotions. So you can email people on Meetup in your Meetup groups and promote your offers or your articles or your services. Again, you can do all of that using the email system. And like I shared earlier, over time, Google will notice your Meetup and start promoting your Meetup as well. Now, if you have a lot more Meetups, you're more likely to be promoted by Google. If you set up your Meetup correctly, you're more likely to be promoted by Google as well. So when you combine Meetup and LinkedIn, it gets very interesting. So the question I pose to you is, why would high-level connectors engage with you? Well, there are two reasons. One is that you have a good branding. You have something that's compelling that they can easily tell other people about and sell other people on the idea of connecting to you for. If you don't have good branding or good messaging, then it's very difficult for them as a high-level connector to justify reaching out to their good friends and the relationships that they have cultivated for many, many years. Wouldn't make any sense. The second reason they would want to connect or engage with you is if you have demonstrated that you have an audience. So it's very powerful when you can demonstrate that you have a meetup audience, even if it's a few hundred people. It's still very compelling for some people to connect with you because even with a few hundred people, they can do a simple webinar, or if they are in the area, do a simple event. And even if they're close to 3 people, that could really make them pretty happy. It's uh, This combination of Meetup and LinkedIn is also great in getting collaborations and speaking gigs. Collaborations for the reasons I described earlier, but speaking gigs, especially when you reach out to LinkedIn through LinkedIn to speaking organizations. Um, Speaking organizations are more likely to hire you as a speaker or use you as a speaker if you come with a ready-made audience. So if you have a Meetup audience that you can promote the speaking event that they would like you to come speak at, then they're more likely to hire you as a speaker. If you have no audience, there's no real compelling reason to hire you, especially if you're in a competitive speaking market. If there's a lot of coaches who do the same thing you do in your market, then there's no real compelling reason to hire you over other people. LinkedIn group wolf packs are another way we use LinkedIn. This is where we collaborate within our mastermind. We have 10 or 15 people sometimes collaborating on this. And we attract people like C-level people or HR people come join these groups. And we can do that when we have 10 or 15 people within the mastermind who are non-compete in business but all have the same audiences. So this gets very interesting with a LinkedIn group, both packs. If you want to learn more, please sign up in the 15-minute conversation, which I'm going to talk about later on in this presentation, and we can talk more about how those wolf packs work. The other way that you use LinkedIn with meetup groups is you have a LinkedIn group for every meetup group that you set up, and you link back and forth between the LinkedIn group and the meetup groups. So as you request to connect people in the geographic area, you can invite them to come to the meetup group and vice versa. And this creates, now you've got 2 channels that are being promoted by Google very well over time. And as you grow both groups, the LinkedIn group and the meetup groups, that creates even more excitement because people who come and search for you see your LinkedIn group and your meetup group showing up in the searches, and that just increases your visibility by leaps and bounds. So when you combine Meetup and LinkedIn and collaborations, it gets even more interesting. When you do collaborations, you can do webinar exchanges, which are very easy to do the way I've set the system up. You can do a webinar to another member of our mastermind, and that person could be in Houston and you could be in San Jose. So now you get a Houston audience for your webinar, and then that person in Houston does the webinar to your group. And if you make a sale to that group in Houston, then you pay that guy a commission for that, for every sale you make, and then vice versa. That person will pay you a commission check for every sale he makes to your San Jose group. And then webinar exchanges can also be done on what we call a wolf pack level. Wolf packs are groups of 4 to 6 people or more who collaborate to do webinar exchanges and even in-person event exchanges to promote each other so that you can expand to fresh audiences over time. And again, the same principle can occur where you pay each other a commission based on sales made. Oftentimes, you don't have to pay a commission. Oftentimes, people just want to build an audience, so they're not really attached to actually making sales occur in the collaboration. I've done this webinar exchange with up to 6 hours notice to some of my collaborators. So with a 6-hour notice, I can actually do a webinar and promote it to as many as 10,000 people, fresh audience, and it's a very, very cool way to do collaborations. Then, of course, there's the LinkedIn group booth packs, which I shared earlier. You can collaborate there as well. The last 2 points are very, very super creative ideas that we've actually started implementing. This is no longer an idea, but it's actually happening, where we involve larger organizations like the Chamber of Commerce, nonprofits in the area, the city governments, and other big players, including big universities, to collaborate with us on Meetup. And it becomes a total win-win for everyone involved. And so you really have an opening to do larger scale creative collaborations when you use Meetup, LinkedIn, and your current collaborations that are available in the mastermind. So how does our system help you? Um, in summary, you get a sales funnel that leads you up to level 3. We guide you how to get people into level 4 and 5, completing the sales funnel. We give you people sources, so people will actually feed into your system. We'll create a good marketing strategy to help you move through the stages, good target markets, good compelling offers, and good compelling offers that match good target markets. And then you get loyal collaborators, joint venture partners to boost it even further. I don't know of any system that puts all of this together in a good way for small businesses. I really invite all of you to find out more about what we do here. There are 3 different programs that I offer. You can do this on a local level if you want to stay small and just focus on a local zip code. We can do it regionally within a major city area. And we can do global as well, where you can market to almost anybody, at least in the United States and UK right now. Our system. This is a summary of how the system works. So you can see that from the top, when you have a Meetup system and it creates self-identified leads, Google gets interested in it as well and starts feeding you leads as well as Meetup. And then LinkedIn as well provides you self-identified leads. And that leads into people joining your Meetup group or your LinkedIn group. They join an event, they join a webinar. They get emails from you with offers and articles that intrigue them even further. You attract collaborators. And then that gives you free consultations with your potential clients. It could be a paid introductory program. You can do workshops with people, feed your workshops that way. From the workshops, you can sell into higher programs. You can do a traveling show strategy, which is very complicated to explain, but basically gives you the option of traveling in the country or in a certain area and doing meetup groups and events along the way. So you can travel, have a good time, and sell it as you travel from town to town. You can also do email drips, and you can create collaborative webinars and events, leading ultimately to paying satisfied clients. Now, the LinkedIn component of this actually goes directly to the free consultations, the paid introductory programs, the workshops, traveling show, email drip, and the collaborations. That's giving you paying satisfied clients as well. That's a summary of our system and how it works. How does the system create a wealth cushion for you? Well, firstly, it's scalable. That's very important to understand. You can go from local to regional to global marketing if you wish to, and it's just a repetition of everything you learn at local, but with a few more important points. But you have, as you grow to the global, regional and global level, you have more collaborative partners who can help you get there even faster. Every meetup group that I have acts like an asset, a true asset that actually delivers cash flow. So I take my meetup groups quite seriously. I nurture them like cash cows that provide a cash flow for me. And I can spread the risk because, especially if I have a lot of LinkedIn groups and a lot of meetup groups and a lot of collaborative partners, then I don't have to rely on one channel all the time. I can rely on several opportunities and options for generating people who become clients. And all of this, of course, is done at a low cost because meetups cost about $5 per month to run, and it's very, very cost effective. So for today, again, only I'm providing this complimentary session. It's clients' confidence and profits. What you'll get in this session, I'll answer your top 2 questions pertaining to your marketing and our system, how it can work for you. Plan to achieve your marketing goals using our system. An option how our system and program will work for you if you're interested. When again you want to see me before I leave to get your complimentary session, or if you're listening to this video, make sure you contact me to get your complimentary 15-minute session. You can also go to meetupchat.com, meetupchat.com, to get your complimentary session. Sign up there. A couple more testimonials here. Eric Kamel is one of my clients in San Luis Obispo. He has a real estate brokerage, and his agents are now one of his agents. We're doing a meetup strategy in San Luis Obispo, and it's doing pretty well, feeding him actual clients. I won't go through all of this, but Julie Parker is in Houston. She has really grown. She's got about close to 7,000 people, I believe, in the Houston area. And she does events and in-person events as well, webinars and in-person events through her meetup strategy. Jose Hannon is one of the top networking mavens here in the Bay Area. She leads Promote Her Business, a premier networking organization for women entrepreneurs and professionals. She's part of our mastermind as well and raves about what we have provided. Jory Hingston Fisher, wonderful business leader in Baltimore. She runs business meetups there. And she's grown a very, very great wolf pack. I'm involved in her wolf pack as well in Baltimore, and we have about 4 people in total in that wolf pack who have contributed meetup groups and collaborate almost on a weekly basis in terms of events and promotionals. Rosie Aiello has written a wonderful book with a huge vision behind this, and it's such a pleasure working with wonderful visionaries like this who are trying to grow into their full expression as a visionary. There's actually a really great way of generating people for your vision using Meetup, LinkedIn, and collaborative power. So again, for today only, offering the clients confidence and profit sessions, complimentary session with me, either on the phone, Zoom, or in person if you wish. What you'll get in this session, answer the top 2 questions pertaining to your marketing and our system, how it work to help you. And we create a plan to achieve your marketing goals using our system. And then it's an option. If you find our system and program something intriguing and worth discussing, we'll talk about that and tell you how it works. Again, you want to see me before I leave, or if you're on this video segment, then you want to reach out to meetupchat.com, meetupchat, that's M as in Malaysia, eetupchat.com, and schedule your session right there. And that's it. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the opportunity to make a difference with you. My vision is to have 100 million joyful and successful entrepreneurs in the world by 2027. I hope you join me in this endeavor, and I hope you can participate with me. It would be a joy to have you here. Thank you, and have a great day.